The Collapse video series is for entertainment purposes only. Do not commit acts of violence. Winter is here. The upshot of winter is that it makes things extremely difficult for the remaining marauders. Moving from town to town becomes too risky when they can freeze to death in a matter of hours if they don't find a good target fast enough. Furthermore, they can't camouflage themselves very well against the snow. The light reflecting against the snow makes them visible to animal predators and makes it difficult to stealthily approach a dwelling even at night. Marauders only survive if they are able to find a secluded cabin to take over that is well stocked with food and wood and has a wood stove. They would have to be lucky enough to find a perfectly stocked cabin, lucky enough to survive the gunfight with the occupants, and lucky enough that no one else in the area knew the previous occupants or realized they've been replaced. If they find a cabin that's not stocked, they won't freeze, but they will starve if they don't venture out again. Most marauders don't survive the winter in the north. In the small towns of the north, people have been able to chop and split enough logs to heat the homes that have wood stoves. The non-farming towns were able to grow enough for the winter only because the collapse happened in the spring and because so many in the town did not survive until the harvest. Their poor food preservation skills caused a lot of food to spoil, but nonetheless, there is enough preserved food to make it through, albeit barely. Most people are using more calories than they are consuming. They are losing weight. It is a cold, hungry winter. The lack of light is a constant source of frustration. The sun sets before dinner. An open fireplace gives some light, a wood stove gives less. The candles didn't last past the first month. Lanterns are rare, and the oil for lanterns is rarer still. The batteries in flashlights are conserved for emergencies. People are spending 14 hours or more a day in low light or darkness. There's not much to do. There's no television, internet, or computers, no video games, no electronic reading material. There are still paper books around, but it's hard to read with so little light. It's hard to go anywhere when the roads and sidewalks aren't plowed and won't be. Everyone is dirty. A shower is difficult without indoor plumbing. On occasion, they heat some water for a sponge bath. If they wash their clothes, there's nowhere to hang them to dry. Most are only washing socks and underwear. People are stuck in dark houses with little to eat and nothing to do, sitting in stinky, dirty clothes. The hours are long and tempers are short. Morale plummets. Depression spreads. Desperate to get out of the house, some decide to trek through the snow on foot to visit neighbors and friends. Hospitality is a hot sassafras tea with no sugar. They gather around the fire to talk about the world they will be building in the spring. This is a clean slate, they say. The new country we will build will be better than the one before. The need for optimism is profound. There will be autonomy. There will be freedom. Families will take care of themselves, owing nothing to anyone and answering to no one. They comfort themselves with visions of a new country with a pure freedom where they only rely on themselves the way their ancestors did. All of this hardship will be worth it in the end. In Europe, officials from the Protector's Office have announced that crime is at an all-time low, the continent is 100% food secure and fuel secure, Unemployment is negligible, and real wages are booming. All credit is to be given to the protector's policies. Those who doubt the claims stay silent. His office makes clear that the emergency is not over. Russia and Turkey are expanding, threatening the safety of the European Union. Meanwhile, he says, there are insurgents within Europe who threaten unity. Some economics professors have concerns about the rosy picture announced by the Protector's office. Modern monetary theory has been working, but simply printing money is not a strategy that will work indefinitely, and the Protector's office has provided no plan for moving workers out of the public sector and back to the private sector. The economists publish a professional paper critiquing the Protector's economic policies. The publication is denounced by the media. With the assistance of internet safety officers, reporters go back through the entire history of the professors to find any statement or comment in any previous paper, social media post, or private email that might be construed as offensive. For all but one of the professors, such comments are found and published, though the professors argued that the comments were in private conversations and are taken out of context. For one of the professors, the thorough review came up empty. However, a witness comes forward, tearfully telling the press she was assaulted by that professor. The professor says he has never seen that woman before. All of the professors are fired from their respective universities. The Protector suggests that universities conduct a review of all of their professors to be sure they won't embarrass the university in a similar incident in the future. They comply. Dozens of professors are dismissed. The professors want to defend themselves in the press, but no media outlet will interview them. They attempt to defend themselves on social media, but their accounts are disabled. They've been ghosted. In the Xinjiang province of China, the Uyghurs' insurgency campaign against the Chinese government has been hampered by the ethnic Han Chinese residing in the area. The local Han worry what will happen to them if the Uyghurs are in charge. The Han have been tipping off the government to any plans they learn of for road attacks, shipments, or government buildings. Because of this, the Uyghurs have been directing their attacks not only at the Chinese government, but also at the ethnic Han in the area. There was already existing tensions between the Uyghurs, who make up 45% of the region, and the Han, who make up 40%. The Han are seen as invaders, as many arrived as part of a state-sponsored migration into the region in the 1950s to the 1970s. Attacks against the Han have led to the formation of paramilitary groups among the Han with the backing of the government. The conflict is rapidly escalating into a regional civil war. Civil unrest in India has been interfering with food production. Severe protein deficiency has become common in India. Even before the collapse, it was estimated that 80% of the population was not consuming enough protein. This was due to soil depletion from over-farming, leading to a decline in the nutrient content of agricultural products. The protein content of beans grown in India declined 60% from 1993 to 2011. Widespread vegetarianism contributes to the protein deficiency epidemic. Now that the total volume of food consumed by Indians has decreased, there has been a corresponding drop in protein. While the majority of the people are getting just enough calories to prevent starvation, they are showing signs of protein deficiency. Their muscles atrophy, their bones break easily, their hair and nails become brittle, and most importantly, they have trouble fighting infection. The Secretary of Defense, who is now effectively running the United States, hears rumors that some of the military camps have been secretly going into local communities to give them food instead of delivering the food to the federal government. If those rumors are true, then some in the ranks have been disobeying orders. That would mean he's losing control. He can't have sections of the military going off and doing as they please, contrary to the orders they've been given. He orders a full investigation. The military must be completely purged of dissent. Before the collapse, the president had appointed the Secretary of Defense because his views were in line with hers. This is part of the reason he has kept her in place as a figurehead. They share a vision of the future. Even now, after the collapse, they maintain that vision. It will be a country of pure racial, gender, and economic equality. The benevolent government will ensure that resources are equally distributed. Everyone will work towards a common goal. Every citizen will be taken care of. No one will be left behind. Government will be there at every step of a person's life to ensure he is treated fairly and doesn't have to struggle. Government will give them everything they need. He can't imagine why anyone would fight against this vision, except perhaps they are hateful and selfish. They don't want equality because they want to feel the power of being above someone. They must be the ones who destroyed the grid, he thinks. Those people must be eliminated. If you would like to see an ad-free version of these videos, go to my BitChute or Brighteon page. Even with the ads, there is not nearly enough revenue to support continued production of the series. Please consider supporting me on Subscribestar or click on the PayPal link in the description.